Well, everyone, the crypto crash last week, it was brutal. There was people tearing around like scolded chickens, trying to sell everything they've worked months to build up on the exchanges. There was people throwing things out at a loss, saying crypto's dead, it's the bear market, it's the end, everything, the world's crashing down. There was people frenzying around like it was an 80% sale at Primark. It was just brutal. But was it justified? I mean, there was a lot of fear in the market. The new people coming into there, which is a lot of people that this channel appears to, it was a bit scary. It was a bit panicky. The veterans in crypto have been through a couple of dumps like this in past times. So today's rundown, we're going to go through the BTC crash and what we think of it, why we think it's happened, and what's coming out of it. We're going to go into the market. Is the market now turning? Have we seen a few green shoots to now say we're going to start recovering, the tsunami is over, we're going to pump back up? And the question that's been on everyone's mind, is the China ban to blame for the big crash and the big fear in there? Now, if that sounds like you want to listen to more of today's rundown, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So we're going to start off with the BTC and the crash. So we'll jump into the charts in a moment and I'll show you what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin, why I think it's going to happen, and where that leaves us. Obviously, the Bitcoin crash, we seen prices that we didn't think we was going to see. Now, you've listened probably to a lot of the YouTube channels out there when they got into the price of 33,000-ish, when Elon Musk first tweeted in Tesla, and they put a long position in, said they were never going to see them prices again, etc, etc. And you know, we did see them prices again. Now, before I just jump into the chart, I want to let everyone know that corrections, especially when things are like, and I personally believe this, with Bitcoin gets manipulated, are going to happen. But at the end of the day, we are still in a market. Now, markets go up, they go down. Even if the whales are manipulating, they need to make money. Even if you're in there in the market space and you're looking for Bitcoin to go up or down, you're gonna sort of go on it either way. But why would you ever short on the stock market when you're actually invested in the asset? It just doesn't make sense to me. But that being said, and that's what's happening with Bitcoin, a lot of people are shorting. It's not people selling like the old and selling Bitcoin, it's the new people selling through fear and the people shorting the actual Bitcoin in the market. So we'll just jump into the charts and you'll see why I think where Bitcoin is and why I think we're not out of the woods yet. I still think we're in sort of like a dicey area where it is important what moves happen next for Bitcoin, because you know we are sort of floating around that 38,000, which is not a good place in my opinion for Bitcoin. I would like to see things improve a lot, and for me an uptrend in Bitcoin would be probably when we're going north of about 55,000. So the reason I've smacked this chart on, we'll go through the charts here. You'll see here from Bitcoin, in my opinion, this is the 144 and this is the 5-day average, and this is the 4-hour candle. You see Bitcoin's just going through what I thought. You see this support here, even on the crash, before this massive crash happened, even when Bitcoin was going down, it was bouncing nicely off this support, going up, bouncing off this resistance, going down to the support, and then obviously we had the crash happen. Now, Bitcoin now, for me, is in a predicament. Now, I think if we get Bitcoin up to this 41,000 mark, by the time it gets up there and the moving average comes down, we'll be at a stage where it needs to break this resistance and cross this for us to start getting into sort of a good place, an uptrend, like a 4-hour or even a daily candle around about the 46,000 mark. And that then will sort of determine whether we're looking good to get to the 58,000 mark, which I think about the 59,000 mark, which I think will then put Bitcoin back in an uptrend where we'll start seeing new highs again. But until that happens, we have to be careful. You know, the crash has put a lot of fear in the market. There's a lot of people out there that are not putting their money into sort of like Bitcoin at the moment because they want to see what's happening. All of this is going to be driven from sort of like the manipulation money, in my opinion. So, which is not a bad thing. I mean, we're not saying like manipulation money is a bad money to have in the market, because it's not. It's just, I would like to see Bitcoin break this kind of resistance level and then cross this 144-day moving average, because that will to me say that Bitcoin's starting to claw back some of its dominance. Whereas if you have a look where Bitcoin started its crash, it's pretty much coming to where we're coming to now. So, for instance, here we had this little bounce off the support, and then it never really grew momentum. It sort of like got knocked back off this moving average, off the 5-day moving average here, and then that was it. It just fell out of its bottom. So we got this descending candle. We're on the way up, but there's not. If you have a look at the amount of volume here compared to the amount of volume on the sell, and the amount of volume that's been coming in there, the volume for me is still quite weak. So although we are moving up in a trend, although we're looking to get to the point where we're going to hit sort of this midway, the volume's not there. So I want to see a lot more volume. I want to see a bit more kind of movement from Bitcoin, at least to test this resistance, if anything, before I think we're out of the woods. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you're investing, you don't want to be investing high against a resistance. It's the same as if you was looking to do a trade in the stock market. No one really trades when something hits resistance. They wait for it to cross through resistance, bounce back down, test that resistance, which then flips into support, and then boom, it shoots back up. And that's what we'd want to see for Bitcoin, where in my opinion, I think if it hits that kind of resistance around the 42-43 mark, and it looks quite weak, and it doesn't break through, and it looks like it's going to get a rejection, you might want to look at your portfolios to see what readjustment you can get to sort of like front run the market, because I think we'll see another correction. Not a massive one like this big crash, but I think we'll probably at least come down and test this support again, which is really low. If you have a look, it's around about the 35,800 mark. Now, this will bring me nicely into the market. Now, looking at the market, we've seen from yesterday, which is not surprising because coins went to a massive all-time low, which prices we didn't see since sort of like the coronavirus crash from last summer. But we've seen on average around about between 10 and 20% increase on some of the major altcoins, on things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. So we're just going to have a look at the cryptocurrency markets and see what this means. Does it mean we're now carrying on the bull run? Does it mean that everything sort of like the tsunami's over and we're sort of like swept all the debris aside, and now we're carrying back on the trend to recover sort of like the 50-60% loss that we had? I personally don't think so. I don't think we're out of the woods yet, and I'm going to go into the markets and show you what's happening, and also tell you a little bit of why I don't think we're out of the woods. So if we just go on here, this is the cryptocurrency markets, and you can see here we've had a bit of a change. Obviously, like these are the little pumps. Binance has had a good run. Sort of like, for instance, here we've had Internet Computer, we've had Uniswap now, and Matic Network has had a massive, great recovery, and I'll even show you that in the chart in a second, which is no surprise. Link has had a good recovery, but Link went down to a price that I didn't think I'd ever see Link this year at all. I think it went down to like below like $18, I think, which to me was absolutely crazy. And also we'll just go into CoinGecko quickly here, which will show you sort of like the 7 days and the 1 hours and the 24 hours. Now, if we have a look here, like Ethereum, it had a 37% crash in the last 7 days and then a 38% pump. But we have to remember with Ethereum, it was already on a downtrend. It was already falling from that, plus 4,000 high. So that was sort of like, a big difference. And here, obviously, we've had a 45% gain in the last few hours. Sorry, the last 24 hours on Binance Coin, on Dogecoin. We won't really talk about XRP, 30% gain. But these are great numbers. But these are coming from all-time lows, not from all-time highs. We've not dropped 30% from our all-time high, and then we're now pumping back up 45%. This is 45% from what I see as an all-time low. So the gaps are still quite big. Now, even on things like Matic and Cardano's it doesn't show it here, but it has had a great recovery. I mean, Cardano was sort of like, we was hoping for these prices not so long ago from Cardano, and people that have invested in that will be buzzing at the moment because they're sort of, the crash has not really affected them that much from how we wanted Cardano when it was trading around the dollar 10 mark for ages and ages, not that long ago. But some of the coins have took a battering. So I just want to tell people in the market to still be cautious. Like I say, there's still a lot of fear out there. We're not in an uptrend yet. I don't advise, I mean, this is not financial advice anyway, but I wouldn't advise anyone that's sort of hoping and just throwing money thinking, okay, well, that's the bottom now. We're never going to see this again. Off we go. Because I don't think it is the bottom. So I still think people need to err with caution. I mean, there's a lot of great buying opportunities, especially yesterday there were, but things have started to sort of get to a level now where they're in what's called a crossroads. We don't know if they're going to go up or we don't know if they're going to go down. So the last thing you want to do when you've already taken an hammer in is throw more money in and then take a sort of like what's called a second dip hammer in, because everyone on this channel, we don't want you to lose money. We want you to trade smart and safe. And a lot of people with spot coins have not been really selling out a lot of this coin, or selling to the market. So we need to be cautious about what's going on in the market. I mean, there is plus signs. A lot of the talk in the market from the big banks, from sort of the influencers and the people analysing sort of like the blockchains and stuff like that, are saying that it was the sort of new people into the market, the weak hands that sold out to the veterans or the people that know a lot more about the market, and that things will start looking up, but we're just having to get past this little rocky point and this fear factor that's been left in the market. So personally, I think the market will recover. I think it will recover strong, and I think it will recover to all-time highs again. But for now, I think we're just in a little bit of a downtrend. The fear that's in the market is going to make this downtrend not pump out as quickly as we'd like it to, which normally we've seen in crypto. Everything as a dip, as a crash, it's pumped back within 1 to 2 days. This one could be anyone's guess from 1 to 2 weeks to 1 to 2 months. We don't know yet. We don't know sort of how quickly we're going to get this fear out of the market. And a lot of questions that I see, and a lot of questions that I see people putting in there is the thing, when's the market going to pump again? When's it? I mean, no one's got a crystal ball in this. What we have to do is we have to look at historical trends, which in my opinion, again, have been weakened because obviously there's new money, new scenarios and new trends in this crypto space this time. And we also have to look at the technical analysis. Now, the technical analysis is in my opinion, the emotion that's in the market. Technical analysis will tell you how the market's looking, and we're not seeing any, apart from on the odd few coins, any big smashes up. We're not seeing any sort of like big pumps other than in things like Matic. Matic is absolutely steaming ahead, and it looks like it's about to cross into an uptrend, and this was an all-time high here for Matic, and we're not a million miles away. These, you see, when Matic had its massive run before, it was from the same sort of area. Look, you could almost, as some people in this bloody space would say, exactly from the same sort of space here. Look, you see this line, if I put a trend line here, if I move this one up, and you can see it almost climbed from the same sort of position, and it went up, had a retrace, went up, retrace, up to all-time highs. Now this magic's just shooting straight back up. People are buying, people are seeing it as a strong coin, and this is what sort of happens with some of the coins. But this is a one-off. Don't look at these coins and think this is going to be a market trend and this is going to be how it goes, because like I say, if Bitcoin doesn't break its resistance, if it was me, I'd be looking at just how Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing, because this is not the same picture. As you'll see, the market is not the same on Ethereum, and this could hit this kind of like resistance and drop, and it's going to drag your altcoins with it. So just, the market is not out of the woods yet. The fear is still there, so let's be cautious and ride it out. And in my opinion, it could be 1 to 2 weeks, it could be 1 to 2 months. I think the altcoin season is sort of not completely finished. A lot of people on YouTube are saying the altcoin season's over and that's it. We're not going to see it now. I don't believe that. I think it's kind of paused, and we could see a little correction, and there could be a bit more fear to come in the market, and that stunts the growth, so to speak. So when you look at this video, when you watch this video, when you watch this channel, and you want to know about the market and what you need to get out of it, I'm absolutely categorically saying that for me, I'm going to err a side of caution. The best buy-in was yesterday. I brought a lot of my bags that I wanted to buy yesterday, and now, until I see Bitcoin get a little bit stronger and smash through its resistance, and obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum will start being a bit more close together now, until I see it smash through this and start going in an uptrend, there'll be nothing to say to me that we're going to start continuing on this big run back to new all-time highs. So just err a side of caution in the market at the moment, and because there is still a lot of fear out there, there is still a little bit going on, and we don't want to lose any more money, or we don't want to be under any more water than we already are. So let's just play safe on this one, see how it pans out, and keep an eye on Bitcoin and see where it gets to. So to finish off today's rundown, we're going to talk about China's ban on mining Bitcoin, China's ban on Bitcoin, and why we think that is, and why I personally think that's a good thing. Now, obviously China want to manipulate everything, and for them to have a long game in the crypto world, they'd have to have control and majority of it, when the actual government doesn't. It's the actual people within the country, and it's actually a lot of people that are sort of trading through the businesses and exchanges. Whereas China now want to release their own cryptocurrency, or their own digital currency, and they'll have total control and manipulation over it. So they don't want any sort of, in my opinion, anything that's going to sort of counteract that or cause a threat to it. Now, that's just China being China. Now, with China's ban on mining and the Bitcoin, I think that's a good thing, and it's the thing that a lot of people think it will be good. Not just because obviously there's a reason with the carbon footprint that China uses majority of coal. There's a lot of coal in China, and it's not good for the environment. But also what it's not good for is, again, what I keep saying is the manipulation. If China control the majority of the mining, they control the hash rate, and we've seen when one of the mines got flooded in China, it caused a big massive problem within the crypto market. Now, if we take that control away and we spread it out even, then we're not going to have sort of dominance like that keep rearing its ugly head. We've got enough rubbish going on within the crypto market that's not allowing the genuine people to trade fairly, trade safely, and just, you know, get into a new way of life with trading crypto fairly, because it's manipulated. And that's going to happen in any markets. We have to just be a little bit smart, counteract it for that. But if we've got countries manipulating something, we cannot combat that. There's no few people that can out combat a country manipulating it. So if China wanted to shut down mining and shut down the hash rate, we'd all be pretty screwed. So I'm just going to see a little article here quickly, because I don't want to bore you too long about this China hash rate thing. Is, I mean, you can see the Goliath of the actual processing that China goes through to mining. I mean, look at all these bad boys. They're absolutely phenomenal. Like the rate and the power that's going in there, and I mean that picture's just crazy. But to say China's crackdown forces crypto mining operators to end operations, which is what we've just been saying about. It's not good, it's not bad. After Friday's crackdown, several firms said they are looking to move their business overseas, especially North America. So just because China's cracking down on it doesn't mean it's going to be the end of Bitcoin mining. And like I say, it's a good thing, because obviously China's going to lose its control over it. But with its own currency coming out, it doesn't really want, it's just cracking down on anything to do with Bitcoin, anything to do with the help of making these cryptocurrencies a lot better for the users. So obviously and this article only come out on the 24th of May, so it's very, very, very current. And obviously with the top miners, they're going to move to the Western or sort of like America, and they will have a lot more cleaner energy mining Bitcoin. And with the news that Ethereum's coming out to sort of change its ways to mine it a lot more efficient, this to me is a good thing. And it'll be a good thing to stop one more piece of manipulation, because we've already got a lot of that with the whales, so to speak, and a lot of things that are going on within the crypto space. So don't want to harp on too much about the China ban, but what I'm trying to get at here is, do not fear the China ban and think, oh, Bitcoin's over, crypto's over, because it's not. China it will just move to other places. There's plenty of places with power. There's plenty of places with more cleaner and better and more efficient power, and it can be spread over a lot of areas, and there won't be as much manipulation. So for me, the China ban is something we should be like welcoming. We shouldn't be fearing it, because of them reasons, that it will absolutely claw back a lot of the control that China have. Like I said, when a mine got flooded, it caused problems in crypto. When China want to manipulate the hash rate, it causes problems in crypto, and they will be eradicated. So today's rundown, we talked about BTC and the crash, and BTC's got a little bit more way to recover before it starts going in an uptrend and we start seeing more movement to the upside and carrying on that great bull run that we've been going on. The market is still showing signs of fear, and I don't think it's fully recovered yet, and we should be erring a side of caution before we start investing more money. In my opinion, it's not financial advice, but in my opinion, just be very cautious of that. And the China ban is something we should be welcoming and not fearing, due to the fact that we gain back more control and we do not be succumbed to more manipulation from China or anyone that's sort of got a lot of control over something that we are investing our hard-earned cash into, and we're trying to sort of build a better kind of understanding of and a better kind of investment portfolio on. So that's all from me today. I'm Christian. This is Crypto Ripto. Stay safe, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.